Hi, everyone. Apologies, I'm the guy that's interrupting the end of your lunch. We are going to crack on with our afternoon schedule now. My name is Thompson. I'm Kainos' CTO here in Canada. And it's great again to have everybody here. Really appreciate your time, especially now we're getting into Friday afternoon. We've left ourselves a nice little light topic, which is sovereignty, to explore. We've got 4 fantastic speakers to take us the rest of the way through our Friday. In terms of what the organisers were going for with this track, when we think about sovereignty, it obviously can mean many, many different things at many different levels. We've been trying to consider it as with the definition of it's the freedom for external control, and that not necessarily being a bad or good thing, but just something that we need to make a conscious choice about. And AI, to steal a little bit from Hillary's talk yesterday, AI has been great for auditing your existing infrastructure, which highlights where we already had weaknesses that are now more magnified, but also potentially where we have strengths that we can explore. When we think about sovereignty, we've been thinking about a few levels, which go from the most obvious one, which is the kind of national geopolitical side of things, which of course has got very, very complicated very, very quickly in the last couple of years. And in Canada, in Northern Ireland and beyond, we all have massive decisions to make upcoming. But we go down a few layers from there. We go into public sector. We had some great content yesterday about where public sector retains control and where it should outsource it. And maybe in the past, sometimes the right decisions haven't been made about how much of the strategy gets outsourced, how much of it gets held. In the private sector as well, not immune either. The next few months probably are going to hit a lot of companies where the cost of AI is going to skyrocket. And a lot of CFOs that maybe last month were looking at, okay, it's $20 a month for AI, whatever, go experiment. Now it's $2,000 a person. Let's have a more serious conversation about where the value is. And that, again, if you think about the freedom from external control, that's been driven by a very small group of companies and their desire or need to get a return on that investment, and very few organizations. We heard earlier about local models. Very few are in a position to do anything about that. There's a bit of, that's the price of it now. You've got to suck it up and maybe plan differently. But then also at an individual and a family level, when we look at where does our control come from, like we all know, it's been well publicized now, the dangers of social media, what that means for ourselves, what that means for children growing up, with LLMs increasingly becoming the interface to things like search. If we go through, well, what happens when people start asking LLMs, like, who should I vote for? Well, who's in control of where that model's been trained, what it gives? Gets very dark very, very quickly. But I guess to pull back from going a bit too dystopian, when we think about what's the potential here, and if I look at what we have here in Canada, so Canadians, super polite, very poor at complimenting yourselves, so for a couple of minutes I'm just going to do it for you. Canada as a global brand is incredibly strong. When people think about Canadians, it's generally a very positive, it's not like some potentially other countries close by where there's some negative adjectives come out, but trust is a thing that keeps coming through time and time again. When we look at what Canada has going for it, the geography, the natural resources, which are all very, very important for the underpinnings of AI. The immense heritage, which again has been touched over the last couple of days. Folks like Jeff Hinton as well. I know Sean in his talk following this is going to chat a little bit about a leading position that Canada has been in and perhaps maybe hasn't fully taken advantage of. And then the talent as well. The talent is absolutely here. As somebody that comes from a company that's set up both in Toronto and Halifax, like there is no talent shortage. It's always... we had those graphs earlier, I think, from Digital Nova Scotia, which showed the plummeting of entry-level jobs, which is just a completely silly approach that ignores that the talent is there. Yes, the skills and the support and challenge that we give people maybe isn't the right one, but the people are absolutely there. So thinking about that trust has come up time and time again over these last 2 days as the key enabler for AI. And again, when we look at what Canada has in that, it's trusted by the world. When we look at Mark Carney's speech, the middle powers one, that kind of invigorated quite a lot of people, it's clear that Canada has so many amazing advantages to take advantage of. It's Friday afternoon, bear with me. At least the hammering has stopped. I would say there's a lot. We chatted as well about not coming to a conference and not taking away any actions or just going back on Monday and doing the same thing. There is so much here. There's so much potential in this room, across Canada, across other global partners that are maybe changing all the time. So with that, we're going to crack on with the afternoon schedule. It's a great pleasure, first of all, to introduce Sean Mullins. Sean is a research fellow at the